Hey there, Bear Club! At the Mama Bear Initiative, we explore how to protect ourselves so we can protect our cubs, the people who depend on us. Join us and get the confidence you need to stay safe, make good choices, and protect yourself and those you care about. Let's go!
Okay, I think we're recording.
Yep.
It just some popped up on the screen here, said live stream upgrade. I'm like, oh, what are we doing? Hello and welcome back to the Mama Bear Initiative podcast. I'm Stephanie Dunham.
I'm Evelyn Mason.
I'm Rochelle Knapp.
Yeah, welcome back to a Monday night. We missed last week because Rochelle and I were sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. We just couldn't get our act together to try to get on here and do some recording.
The acts were not coming together, not at all.
No, not at all.
Nope.
So we decided to just give it a rest. We reposted a previous recording. It's there, whatever. So I'm right here in the middle. Like
you actually are in the middle in this case.
Well,
Evelyn's over there. Rochelle's over here.
For me, it's the opposite.
And for me, I'm on the left, Rochelle's in the middle, and Steph's on the right.
You're on the left, Steph's in the middle, I'm on the right on the screen. That's so funny.
Man, we're
That's
all
different for everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway. So, yeah, we're here. We're going to talk about pain. The paradox of pain and trauma recovery. Because it is a paradox.
Indeed.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. I guess I could start.
Sure.
I spent many years, I won't give details or too many details, but I spent many years being terrified of pain, and for good reason. And it has taken me a long time to understand, in many cases, pain is a good thing. In terms of healing, and the way I equate it in my mind is that if you're having a surgery, it's going to hurt. There's going to be an incision. There's going to be a recovery. Oh, no. Sorry, guys. I'm bleeding. Can we hold on a second?
Oh.
Oh my.
I scratched a bug bite earlier. I had a Band-Aid and I took it off. Thought it was fine. It's not fine. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Oh,
Be right
dear.
back.
Go, Evelyn.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I sure hope Rochelle's okay.
I'm fine. It's just a little bug bite that scratched earlier at work and then took Band-Aid off just now, so thinking it was
Boy,
fine.
oh boy. Some people do
that was
anything
wrong.
for attention.
Michelle's talking about pain and she's literally bleeding.
It's like, let me illustrate by bleeding.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
I don't think we needed a visual, Rochelle. Did it hurt?
No. We'll just cut that part out, I guess.
Will we? I don't think so.
Just like, no.
Okay. Oh, we had a whole, what is it from? Jeopardy? Is that the music?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thinking music, like when they're about to make a big move.
Final Jeopardy. That's the Final Jeopardy. Okay. Now that that's over with, let me fix myself here. Get readjusted. Okay.
All right. Anyway, back in the story.
Back in the story.
As you were.
So, like I said, when I was a kid, I experienced a lot of pain very young. And I can say that one of them was because of growing pains. I had a lot of really bad growing pains in my legs. Mostly in my legs, somewhat in my arms and my shoulders. And that was really hard to deal with on its own. Mm-hmm. We talked about being abused as kids and physical abuse, things like that. So I grew, a terror of pain was developed in me because of that. And any kind of pain, eventually as an adult, any kind of pain was terrifying for me. So as time went on, I spent my young adult years trying to avoid pain at all costs, trying to comfort myself, and I found that I was more miserable than ever. I was not in active trauma recovery. I was not doing anything to help myself. I was barely functioning most of the time. Because I don't know if it was entirely because I was trying to avoid pain, but that was certainly a big part of it. A big part of the reason why I was so unhappy. Because I didn't know until I was like 28 or 29 that I actually had trauma or even what that meant. And even after that, I still tried to avoid it for many years. And now understanding that in this case, pain is actually a good thing because it teaches you and it helps you know that something is wrong. And while the inclination is to try to escape it, it's best to turn and try to face it and figure out what's going on, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional.
Yeah, I have a mixed bag of experience with pain. I don't know that I had a lot of physical pain growing up. I think I had emotional pain, mental pain, a lot of my teenage years and early adulthood. And I started medicating pretty early with food on that. But when it came to physical pain, I had kind of a mixed bag. I, gave birth twice and both times without medication. And so I think that kind of, I don't know, made me used to physical pain in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had all kinds of different physical pains over the years that, are from various injuries, surgeries, or problems in my abdomen from stress. I'm pretty sure all the reasons why I've had surgery are related to stress. And, procedures, kidney stones, you name it. It feels like I've had it. I mean, not everything, obviously. I don't want to be dramatic. But, as I work through my recovery, I've come to a place where I accept pain for what it's supposed to be. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not doing wrong things because of pain, because I certainly am. Trying to soothe parts of myself, which I'll get into later because I had one of those conversations with my therapist today. I haven't thought too much about it yet. I wanted to kind of talk about it tonight because I basically feel like this on the inside as a result of my conversation. And it was good. It was a good conversation, but the results are
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've come to a place where I perceive pain as good, even though I don't like it. I mean, I have physical pain all the time. Something's always aching in my body. I get migraines, but I don't feel like it's bad. I don't like it, but I don't feel like it's evil or bad. I feel like it's a signal that something's not right. So I treat it that way, or at least I try to. Subconsciously, I think there's still a great deal of pain that I haven't dealt with yet that I need to especially to like work through, like the eating disorder. There's a lot of pain associated with that. And my therapist gave me a tool today, so I'm happy about that. And I'll talk about it a little later, what he's told me would be helpful. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. That's my experience with it.
Yeah. For me, I haven't had a whole lot of physical pain in my life. When I have had it, it's been severe. I think the worst pain I ever had was when I had a lung collapse. When the lung collapsed initially, it was painful. But then when I had the surgery to they put in a tube because my lung had collapsed. You know, that whole surgery to get the tube in. I actually, after that procedure, I was in more pain than I'd ever been, and they had me on morphine. And I didn't realize how much pain I was in until the morphine was wearing off. And I can still remember, like, I can handle pain. I gave birth, like Steph, you know, I gave birth to 4 kids, totally natural. I'd learned how to relax my body, go with the contractions. Some of them were very intense. But this pain, I remember when the morphine wore off, and I was, if you've ever seen the pain chart, I was on 10 and like, nurse, tears running down my face. I'd never experienced such pain. But aside from that, pretty much I don't feel a lot of pain in my body. That is good. However, emotional pain can be, in my life can be very severe. That's where I struggle. Ever since I was little, I was silenced and shamed a lot. Now, I'm not saying I didn't deserve to be corrected. Just like any other, I was very precocious. I could be very mouthy. I was, ADHD, not diagnosed. I could be all over the place in my mind or in my body. I needed to be corrected, but there was a lot of, overcorrection. There was a lot of, from teachers, parents, other students, a lot of ridicule, a lot of, not so much ridicule from my parents or teachers, but from students, shaming from my parents and teachers, the whole "you should know better," and just a lot of shame deep within. And not even realizing it just was my normal, and just being ashamed of myself and just carrying that, which I couldn't be myself. I forget who I was. And so there's all this fear of being exposed for the shameful person I am. So there's that. There's a lot of anxiety. And I guess in some ways, because, mental and emotional and everything and physical are all attached, I would have some stomach issues, some, nothing really severe, and I would get headaches too. Come to think of it, tension headaches. I remember when I first heard that term and went, ha. So I used to get a lot of tension headaches, but mostly it was just emotional pain. And that didn't even really surface. I mean, I was able to push it down as a kid. It really started to come out, I would say, in the last 10 years or so. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint a time because I think there were times when it was trying to get out there, so I'd pay attention to it and take care of it. But my go-to is, ow, it hurts, run the other way. Ow, it hurts, make it stop. So it's been really recent. I'm talking like in the last month when I've really been leaning into it instead of trying to make it go away.
I got gunk in my throat. Speaking of pain. Another thing, oh God, it's happening again.
The brain freeze.
I thought of something when you were talking, Evelyn, and I was going to say, the other thing I was thinking about was, now it's gone. It had to do with pain, emotional pain. Oh, yes. Pain from anxiety, depression, flashbacks, panic attacks, have that kind of pain too. Like I feel it in my body. It's like a memory of whatever, or it just manifests in certain parts of my body, usually right here. Usually it's a little bit confronting when I'm having anxiety and I'm feeling it in my chest as pain. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh God, am I having a heart attack? But I
Yeah.
think we've all experienced that, kind of pain where it's like in your body somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Your shoulders hurt, your stomach hurts, your throat hurts, headache, whatever.
Yeah. Do you mean like
Yeah.
associated with the trauma associated with?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the last couple of days, um, I felt a lot in my belly. Just when I feel fear, anxiety, I feel this like inside. People talk about butterflies in your tummy. That sounds so pleasant. Mine are like duking it out. I don't know what's going on in there.
Duking it out.
They're duking it out.
There's little butterflies in
Fun.
there with
Little butterfly fists.
Boxing
boxing
gloves.
gloves and some sort of boxing ring.
Yeah, I feel it in my head, like right around here.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, those butterflies, no fun.
I have having experienced intense anger and rage recently towards our mother's trauma and things like that. I experience pain in my entire body when that happens. Just everything just aches and hurts
Mm.
for a couple of days, and I can't. No medication, no ibuprofen, nothing's going to really help it. The worst physical pain I ever experienced was when I had my gallbladder out. It's a kind of, I wish I could tell the whole story. It's kind of funny, but and then 4 days later, I still had severe pain in my upper back. So they're like, "Well, come back to the hospital and we'll figure out what's going on." I went back. The doctor's like, "You probably don't have a gallstone in your bile duct because your bile ducts are very small." And sure enough, I had a gallstone in my bile duct. So 4 days after that, after having a gallbladder out, I had to get another procedure to get that out. So they fill your abdomen with gas. 2 abdominal procedures in a row. I was in excruciating pain for 4 or 5 days, and had never felt anything like that, and haven't experienced anything like that again since, thankfully. But it was the kind of pain that made me feel like my mind was coming apart. Like I felt like my mind was going to rip in half or something. And the nurses are like, "You should walk. You should do this." I'm like, "I can barely stand."
You're like, are you crazy?
No medication was really helping me. Like they were trying different things and nothing was really helping. And then this is a short version of the story. Then they're like, "Your white count's really high, but you probably don't have pancreatitis." And then I had pancreatitis, which increased my pain exponentially in the same area. And it was just, if I hadn't been in so much pain, it would have been funny. And it was funny afterwards because next day they're like, "Oh, you have pancreatitis." Like, of course I do. And once they put me on antibiotics and everything, that helped. And then eventually the gas left my body, thankfully. But it was quite the ordeal. It was quite an experience. And I don't remember what it felt like. I just know it felt mentally like I was losing my mind. And emotionally, it was very difficult. But I learned a lot from that experience, too, about pain. When you can't escape it, when it's just in your body and you can't get away from it, you have to figure out other ways to manage to handle yourself, because there's no escaping it until it's over. It's not over till it's over with. I never experienced childbirth, but this was the worst pain I've ever felt. The other worst pain I felt was I had an abscessed tooth, and it was so painful. One day I saw white and passed out. And I came to, I was home alone. I came to, I called my ex-husband. I'm like, "I'm in so much pain, I can't even think." And
I didn't know that story.
Yeah. We went to the ER to get something done. I was supposed to have an appointment in like a day or so to get it removed. But the pain was just unbelievably bad. So they did a dental block, which thankfully lasted longer than it was supposed to. They generally only last about 12 hours. Mine lasted about 19. So by the time I got to my appointment, I was okay. Like I wasn't dying in pain. But it was awful. There's no way around that. It was one of the worst pains I've ever felt.
Yeah.
And it made me pass out for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead, Ev.
One thing I was thinking about, when I've been in really bad physical pain, I've found it to be so different than the mental pain. The physical pain, I could identify it. I remember another time I had really bad pain was sciatica. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I finally got taken to the hospital. And yeah, it happened a couple of times with Steph. And then it happened another time. The first time, and then the second time was when Steph took me and helped me. Urgent care. But the first time my mom took me to the hospital, and I remember she had to take my kids to school first, and then she was going to take me to the hospital. While she was gone, I just wailed. I finally was able to let it out because I didn't want to get the kids upset. So I was holding back. But I could identify it. I knew exactly what it was. I knew exactly where it was, Actually, and I could go, okay, I could calmly basically deal with it. I was thinking when I was giving birth too, I had trained and I had learned to relax my body and, and to handle the pain, but emotional pain, I'd run from that.
It's way messier and way harder to handle.
Sure. Emotional pain? Is that what you're talking about, Rochelle?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like there's no stigma to, I want to make a caveat. If you're listening to this and you're somebody in chronic pain, we're not talking about that because chronic pain is a whole different problem.
Yeah.
That has to be managed whatever way you have to manage it. We're talking about transient pain. That's the result of something happening, an injury, illness, whatever. If you have chronic pain, I feel for you.
Yeah.
If it's like, an injury or some sort of disease or something that you can't escape.
Yeah.
Can't imagine the mental torture of that. And I hope I never have to, but,
same here.
Yeah.
So as far as physical pain goes, I feel like my emotional pain is chronic. And I can't escape it. And I've heard that they say that emotional pain shows up in the brain the same way physical pain does. So it's interpreted in your brain the same way, regardless of where it's coming from. So the desire to escape it is strong. Now, when it comes to transient pain, like something's going on in your body or whatever, there's no real stigma to getting pain relief. Like the first thing they want to do for you when you get to the hospital is give you pain relief.
Yep.
Right. And I'm grateful for that because when I've had serious issues going on, like hernias and kidney stones or whatever, I've already been in pain, nauseated, etc. for hours by that time. And I definitely want that. My husband calls it the dilated awe. When the finally.
Yes.
But when it comes to emotional pain, the way that we handle it, there definitely is stigma to it. Because it feels like the only options are self-medicating through food, drugs, alcohol, sex, any other number of ways people use to try to give themselves pleasure to eliminate emotional pain.
Yeah.
But because it's so strong, the draw to escape it is very strong. I think sometimes it may be even a little bit stronger than physical pain.
Yeah.
As far as trying to get away from it. I know for myself that I have a variety of ways to not feel emotional pain. My major one is binging, which typically starts when I'm overly stressed about something. But just eating food in general has been, like sugar in particular, has been a escape. Like I literally feel after several cookies, like I literally feel that. Finally, I'm getting relief. And I mentioned earlier that I had my therapy session today, and I've had things on my mind because I'm trying to work on the eating disorder. And I've been thinking about things. And over the weekend, starting on Friday, I had some emotional pain. I wrote an article for my dojo because I'm trying to post regularly to generate interest, hopefully get some students. I don't want to go about that the traditional way. So the way I'm going about it is probably non-traditional, but it is what it is. But I decided on Thursdays I'm going to sit down and write out some sort of thought about something. And I wrote this article. It didn't get a whole lot of response. And that external lack of validation set me into a bit of a tailspin. And by Friday night, I was like, I'm dumb. I don't know what I'm doing. I shouldn't have used that picture. I shouldn't have said it that way. I should have picked a different topic. What did I think I was doing? Like, that's the emotional pain. This not good enough feeling.
Yeah.
Which then escalated through the weekend. So by the time I got to church yesterday, I was pretty much feeling sorry for myself and just like, I don't want to be at church. I don't even like church. Why am I even here? I can't connect to people. I'm too weird. I can't fit into the church. Like, nobody wants to connect with me on any deep level, except for you two and maybe my husband. But out in space out there, it seems like I can't make connections, and I've had too many things go wrong in relationships and being in another church and all that. And so I was like, I don't even want to be here right now.
Yeah.
And then Sunday night, Rochelle and I watched K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, yes, we did.
Oh, you got to see it.
I did, yeah.
Which is an overly emotional experience for me. But it's just like you and I, Evelyn, Rochelle and I were crying at pretty much the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was hitting home for me was Rumi's, self-identity issues, her shame, not being able to show who she really was because she was broken, but wanting to be free and starting to get an inkling that she could be free, although from a very terrible source who was trying to manipulate her. But I was crying. Yeah. And so I went to therapy today and I talked to my therapist and I started talking about I said, a lot of this centers around this idea that I'm not good enough, which is pretty much true for anybody with trauma.
Yeah.
This idea that we're not good enough. And so we don't know how to escape it. We don't know how to be accepted or fix ourselves to fit in, or we don't know how to do any of that. And so we just end up feeling untethered to the world, disconnected.
Yeah.
And that's very painful when all you want is love and acceptance and
yes,
to be part of things. And I was describing he asked me why I feel like I'm not good enough. So I described for him several situations. A lot had to do with our mother, Rochelle and I's mother. Just like I never knew where I stood with her.
Yeah.
And she was always like changing how she reacted. And like, I never knew if I was good enough for her. My peers was treated various ways. There was a lot of, from boys, there was a lot of sexual behavior towards me. Nobody one person did touch me, but mostly it was just how they talked to me.
Yeah.
I was like, I told my therapist, like I had this big target that said, abuse me. Like somehow they found me. So I wasn't accepted by my peers. And then I get into this church I was in for a very long time. And over the years, I started to feel like I don't fit in here. I'm like, I can't go along with their program. I'm like, the way that they believe is not how I believe. And they want me to do things and I can't do it the way they want me to. And, et cetera, et cetera. It just became kind of a nightmare and I had to leave. But it's only been like past 5 or so years that I've started to kind of crawl slowly out of this mentality of feeling very disconnected. But almost all of my anxiety is centered around this whole concept of not being good enough. So he gave me something I could do, which I'll come to later if we get around to it. How can you help yourself through these things? But, I just feel like my teeth are chattering right now. I am in pain. Like, I'm sitting here smiling and talking like everything's normal, but on the inside, it's been a rough day. Like, I managed to nap, but I was extremely exhausted from talking. Like, emotional pain does have an effect on the physical body.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I feel like my metaphorical teeth are chattering in pain. Like, it feels a lot like, before transition and birth, that sort of cycle of and then rest and then rest. Like, for me, that's what I feel right now mentally, which makes me want to go run to the cookie jar.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Were you done, Steph?
Yeah.
We did watch the movie last night, K-pop Demon Hunters, and I did not expect to react to it the way I did, but I was kind of primed for it. Been working with my therapist, bringing out the worst parts of my childhood, the darkest parts of myself that are affected by it, and having to identify with that part of myself is extremely painful for me. And last night watching the movie, the same thing with the main character Rumi being part demon and like having to reveal that to her friends, and then her friends were freaked out and like, but then eventually they came and rallied with her and they won the battle and everything worked out. But in the interim of that, she was ashamed of herself for something she couldn't control, something she had zero control over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been my main source of shame, something I cannot control, being abused in many, many ways by different people in my family. We talk about a lot about our mother, but other people abuse us as well.
Mm-hmm.
She just was the one who did the worst, I think, of all of it.
And the most, the longest.
And the most. And being a child and not understanding fully that I am not responsible. And I still, to this day, have that same rooted thought in my mind that I'm somehow responsible for it and I should be ashamed of myself for it. And I feel pain, deep, dark pain because of that idea. I want it to dislodge, and I want to like let that be the first true part of healing for me. But it's so foundational, it feels impossible right now. I know it's possible. I know it can happen, and I'm willing to go there, but where I wasn't before, because it is very painful. Mm-hmm. But pain is part of healing. Healing brings pain. That's just the way it is. We can't escape it. We can't. That's what I'm trying to accept now. We can't escape the inevitability of pain. And facing that is really hard. And understanding if you've been abused, you're not responsible for that abuse at all. And to say that to yourself and believe it is really tough. Because especially if you're an adult and you've been abused in a marriage or something like that, you are not responsible for what happened to you in any circumstance, in any way, shape, or form. That person abused you. You could not stop or control them. Very, very hard to understand and face. And now, as 50 some odd years later, 40 some odd years later, trying to grasp that idea for myself is really tough and very painful. And I have to mourn certain parts of things. Certain things didn't happen for me. Like my childhood wasn't what I wanted it to be. What any kid would want. They wanted, normal parents, normal upbringing. That didn't happen. And I have to face that. And it's really, really tough and very painful.
Yeah. It's paradoxical in my mind to say that pain is good.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't like it. It makes us want to numb it, shut down, run away.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, it's my belief that pain is a signal in its most basic form that causes us to take an action.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think one of my most, well, I'm actually in pain right now. From the one that I struggle with the most, that triggers my shame the most, which is something that was my fault. I mean, I experienced a lot of abuse and kids that were mean and a bad marriage and a lot of mental, emotional abuse, not physical abuse, thankfully. But the pain of failing, the pain of you should have done this, but you did that. Now, I really, I have very little grace for myself when that happens. I want to punish myself. It triggers the shame. See, you're bad. You did this again. You should know better. You do know better. You did the wrong thing. Loud screaming, bad, bad, bad. And I was feeling that today, like intensely. And I wanted to numb. My way to numb is let me just get into some true crime videos or just a whole bunch of like short videos, one after the other, a little dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. Let me escape. I don't want to feel it. But I think because I had prayed a prayer that I would feel the feelings, I sensed that no, stop it, put your phone down, feel it.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you feel this way? What happened? Just like Steph said, it's a signal. What choice did I make along the way? And I see I had set myself up in a lot of ways, trying to force myself to do something. And I overdid what I was trying to do. I had myself all in a very upset state to begin with because it was just a lot of government confusion, paperwork, this, and this. And I just was just keep working on it, and then something else came up. And I have tools. My therapist gave me tools. When I use them, they work. First of all, realize along the way so I don't overdo it. Catch the signals.
Right.
But my tendency is to force my way through, and that's not exactly perseverance. Perseverance is good, but to force something when you really should take a break. And I was just oblivious to all of that because I was in my old way of punishing myself. You have to do this, and you can't take a break until you pick a relatively unreasonable, goal. I was a mess. And then I made some stupid choices. And then consequences. And consequences are also really good teachers. And they're not to be used as whips. And I tend to use them as whips. And I'm learning that too. And that's painful too. So there's a lot of pain going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about this idea that pain is a signal, and that's good. Because that's the paradoxical part. Pain itself, we don't like. It's frustrating. It's difficult to deal with. It's mind-boggling. It can make you feel like you're going insane. Physical or emotional or whatever. But not that I glory in pain, but I try to think of pain as a friend who's telling me something that I need to know so that I could do something. Like something is actually helpful. Like I often don't do something helpful. Try to break that habit. But I mean, I have got some ground on doing helpful things to manage my emotional pain. Just as an example of physical pain, like I have chronic, well, not quite chronic. I have areas of my body that have been injured from accidents, car accidents, fall injuries, other things that I've accumulated over the years, starting in my 20s. And the way that I have to manage those areas to keep the pain to minimum is actually by exercising them. Like I have to lift weights, do range of motion exercises, stretch. I go to a trainer every week who knows all of my aches and pains, and we'll do a little body scan prior and is like, what's hurting, and then we'll address that area. If I feel pain partway through, he'll have me focus on that in some way, usually with the foam roller, and I'm laying there going, I hate you. Because it hurts so bad. I can't even say that it hurts so good, But I know it's good for me. So that's me taking action. Getting on my hip hurts, get on the foam roller, start rolling out my piriformis muscle or my hamstring or whatever. Or get into this, he calls them shapes, get into this shape on the floor, move around in it. And then, I start to feel better. That's me taking action. So emotional pain, taking action for that. Now, granted, we're talking about ways that we numb out. I think resting is a perfectly fine solution to emotional pain. I think if you were allowing yourself some space to watch true crime videos, or in my case, play games, or listen to educational videos, or lay on the couch, or do something, as long as it's not all consuming, if it helps to alleviate pain for the time being, I think it's helpful. But the most helpful thing to do is to actually spend time processing your emotions.
Yeah.
Processing your pain, thinking about the things that hurt you and why they hurt you, and things that people did, things people said. Like actually doing that kind of work eventually reduces or eliminates the pain. And that's the action we're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Right? Me sitting in my therapist's office for about 45 minutes talking about all these painful things that I experienced throughout my life that led me to believe that I'm not acceptable, that I'm not good enough, that I'll never fit in, was although painful, was good for me.
Yeah.
Because that's me doing kind of the equivalent of foam rolling my piriformis. The emotional equivalent of that. Talking about it, it brought me to tears. I could feel it in my chest. I probably was tensing. And then I came home in a foul mood. My husband comes downstairs not long after I got home. He's like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "Go away. I want to be alone." He was kind and he left me alone.
Wise man.
Yeah, because I needed to chill.
Yeah.
So I could get on with the rest of my day, because I had things I had to attend to that required me to not be in a funked out state.
Yeah.
So I needed to rest and to focus on something else for a while.
Yeah. When I'm in therapy, and we've been hitting the really heavy things lately, like hitting the heavy weights, so to speak, emotionally speaking. And I'm thankful for this. My therapist pointed this out to me, that I have sort of an innate sense of when I need to stop and take a break from whatever thing we're talking about. Like it gets to be so overwhelming that I'm like, I gotta stop. And she's like, okay, let's stop. Let's do some breathing. Let's, do some meditation, something to calm down so we can continue the conversation or pivot to something else. I'm very thankful for that, because that helps me know not to go too far into it, not to go so far, like Steph was saying, where it's affecting me, especially if it's earlier in the day, where it's throughout the rest of my day. Because I've had therapy sessions where I felt completely wrecked afterwards, even with the breaks and the meditation, things like that, and had to function the rest of the day. And that can be really tough. But knowing when you need to rest, knowing when you need a break is really important, because we're talking about things that are deep rooted in us, and we can't do it all in a day. As much as I would love that to be the case, can't do it all day. It's a lifetime. I've said to people, not a lot, but a few people I've said, trauma recovery is a lifetime.
Yeah.
If you have complex trauma, it's a lifetime. You don't get like, and it sucks because you're stuck in this for the rest of your life in one sense, but like if you keep going, it does get better and you do figure it out eventually. But it is really tough, and people don't like hearing that, which is why there's so much, we'll call it escapism, going on in the world, because people don't want to face that. They don't want to face, myself included in that. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. I've certainly had my many escape routes in my life that I'm trying to overcome now. But yeah, like facing it and dealing with it, you need to know when to stop and take a break, take a rest, whatever you got to do. I think that is a really smart and wise thing to know when you need that. When it's enough is enough. You got to take a break.
Yeah. It's interesting you should say that, because today, so I've been working on something. I mentioned that it basically, I drove myself crazy with it last night. I was like determined. I don't know what I guess because I didn't have a specific goal in mind, but I was trying so hard to do. I have time now. Let me just do it all. And then today, my whole day was off. And I started thinking about it, and I realized a lot of it was because I had myself so worked up, and I was still carrying that I was not able to relax at all at work. I had a level of anxiety I hadn't had in a while. I just felt stiff all over. And I was thinking today, I should probably work on that thing some more. And I could sense the Lord going, no, you're just going to, not in your state of mind. No, give it a rest. And I got the sense I actually made more progress than I thought. And because I started to sort of settle down a little once I realized I could rest, I started to think a little more clearly. Mm-hmm. And I started to think about all I had actually accomplished. And I thought, actually, I really did move the needle on this. And once I realized I could rest, like I gave myself permission to rest. Not that I'm completely better, but it's so much better.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, I've sprained both ankles. The second sprain was pretty bad. And the intense pain on a soft tissue injury is like, I'm probably not the only one that the initial injury and the pain, until you get to be seen and get some pain relief on, all I can think about is the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only thing I can focus on, because I'm trying not to like scream, be a pain in the neck to my family, panic, those sorts of things. And so the only thing on my mind is how much pain I'm in.
Right.
And I feel like what you're saying, Evelyn, is like the whole emotional pain is kind of similar. Mm-hmm. Like it comes up and that's all you can think about.
Yeah. And I thought that my frantic working would help alleviate it, because I thought this is having this unfinished big project, big scary project. If I could get a whole bunch done on it, I'll feel better. But I just worked myself into just a frantic sort of state.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm digging into, like I am now, why I overeat, I'm digging into pain. Mm-hmm. And that's all I can think about, unless I deliberately take a break, set it aside, don't focus on it.
Yeah.
It's all I can think about, because until it resolves.
And to be able to calmly handle it, you need to take if it's a physical pain, you have to rest the injury. Mental pain, let it rest. so you can deal with it with a clear head. And that was really a reminder to me was I wasn't living in the moment. I was living in the scary future.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that, it's sort of like what they say in recovery circles. It's day by day, moment by moment, sometimes minute by minute. And I was thinking, yeah, I got to zoom back and just be in the moment again and go ahead and feel whatever pain is there. And
Yeah.
instead of trying to whoop up some future thing.
Do you guys ever experience, like, if you have a physical pain, like worrying about the future? Like, am I going to be like this forever?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very recently I did actually. So you guys know I have a lot of problems with my right hip and my right knee, and my left hip right in the joint where, it was a very high traffic area where I'm walking. The hip pain in my right side it's further back. It's in a different area. So walking became very difficult for a few days, and I'm having my usual like physical pain freak out. Like, oh my God, I don't need another problem in my body. Is this going to be permanent? Like, am I going to have to work through this one too? Like, it was all this just constant fear of like, oh God, my body's breaking down and it's going to be terrible. That's what I go through pretty much every time I have a new pain in my body, especially one at the level of intensity this one was at.
Okay. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Saturday night, it actually started getting better when I was the most tired and the most in pain on my right side that I had been in a while. And then it's gradually getting better. And I haven't done anything particularly special. I mean, I've been trying to work the joint and things like that, but nothing's particularly special to make it better. It's just getting better on its own. Mm-hmm. So it's not a permanent pain, which I'm thankful for. But I definitely worry about that, like, kind of thing. Like, physical pain is this permanent, or, is this something I'm going to have to deal with, and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had a spate of, like, physical stuff going on, like the deltoids, what do you call them, rotator cuffs.
Yeah.
And that shoulder hurting. I don't know why, except I did find a spasm here. It's still sore from trying to rub out the spasm. It's still swollen, weirdly. And then my right hip. Yeah. So, I want to address it in different ways: foam rolling, massage, ibuprofen, whatever. I wanted to share something my therapist told me, because I was like, yeah, I know that a lot of my anxiety centers around not being good enough, but I haven't the faintest idea to believe I am good enough. Like, I don't know how to do that. No idea. And then, he's said some things at times about how I'm interpreting things. And one thing he said that I thought was extremely helpful was separating fact from fiction. So I used the article that I wrote as an example of what I was talking about in terms of, like, I wrote this thing at the time that I wrote it. I really liked it and I felt good about it. Later on, I started to doubt it because of the external validation problem.
Yeah.
And he goes, so a fact is you liked it. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, non-fact. I said, could we call it fiction? It's easier to say than non-fact.
Yeah,
that's fine. Anyway, the fiction is, he said, anything that's not based in evidence that I believe about something is fiction automatically. There's no evidence to prove this particular thought is true, then it's fiction. And I was like, okay, that's very relieving. It's like pain relief.
Yeah.
If I can identify that this thought I'm having is fiction, it's a myth that I've created in my head, then I can let that go and just move on.
Yeah.
I thought, can I visualize, like, chucking it in the bin? Like, can I throw it away?
Yeah.
Like, I have a little trash can with a little basket hoop over here, and I could just go It's
I've
fiction.
done that. I've done that mentally. Yep.
Points.
2 points. I love that idea. I love that idea because that sort of thing can pull you off the ledge. Like even today, I have some facts that are pretty sobering in my life, and I can say yes, that's true. But I can take away all the baggage from it that says it's the worst thing in the world. You'll never be able to blank because of this. You'll never, that the catastrophic side of it. And then I thought, okay, so what if a bad thing happened because of it? Like I sometimes even play with, okay, so, let's say I'm just going to throw this out. Let's say I can't do any international travel because of, what I'm dealing with.
Right.
There's the whole United States. That's what I told myself today. I mean, it's, and then I could just grab that and go, you know what, whatever,
Yeah. Well, technically, the fear that you could never travel internationally is considered by my therapist fiction. There's no proof right now that you can't.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
So if it doesn't have any evidence, it's even if it could be true, it's still automatically fiction.
I like that. In fact, I don't know if you guys saw me like glancing down because I was like, I'm going to write this down.
Looked like you were writing a note. I was like, oh, Evelyn's writing notes. Yep.
Okay, so I got to tell you guys, if I don't write it down, I forget it. And I do this with videos too that I watch. I'm like, that's good advice. I do it with my therapist. She's used to it now. I'm like, hey, I'm writing. She goes, I know. But not based in evidence. I wrote fiction means it's not based in evidence. So, and that's something my therapist has said, like, where did that idea come from? Why do you think that way?
Yeah.
And I can hear her say, because I think I tell her some of the thoughts that I think. And I, we were talking, I think on a previous podcast, how we just create these scenarios that are very elaborate that have no evidence and no basis in fact. So why are we going there? What's going on? Stop that train.
It's all about creating safety. We did it as a child because it worked, but now as an adult, it's a hindrance.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that thinking of what is the worst thing that could happen. And that can turn into catastrophic thinking. And I was really good at that. Because it felt protective. But now it's just
now it's maladaptive. And the problem is that our alarm systems are getting tripped frequently by external factors or internal factors that look and feel like previous experiences as children. And we're being reminded of something and our alarm system's going off. Pain comes in and we want to go, cut it off, shut it down. Don't deal with it. Go drink, go do drugs, go eat yourself silly, go watch your true crime, get out of pain.
For hours, yeah.
And that's what we want to do because we want to get out of pain immediately because confronting why we're in pain is painful. And that's paradoxical because in order to get out of pain, you have to experience pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this system now that I've been working that it works for me, but I don't always want to do it because it's work.
Right.
Because it forces me to sit down and pull out each of my feelings. Why do I feel this way? This, what is it from? This, what is it from? And it's exhausting, but worked into this is I write all this down until I feel like I've got pretty much all of it out. Like I'll sit there with my pencil in the air and go, okay, am I done? Am I done? And then I put it down and then there's a mandatory, you have to have at least 15 minutes, preferably 20 minutes of just quiet meditation. The idea is just complete rest.
Yeah.
You're not working, you're not doing it afterwards. And there have been times I thought to do that and I'm like, oh, I'd rather escape.
Yeah.
Then I think about how good I'll feel when I'm done.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's worth it.
If I had burned myself cooking, my immediate response is to grab a piece of, run my fingers under my hand or whatever under the water, grab a piece of ice, put it on the injury, get on with cooking dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what led to me getting burnt was probably something I was doing that was stupid. And what action should I take? Well, don't do that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When it comes to emotional pain, it feels kind of a similar, like as soon as I feel it, I want to put ice on it and shut it down.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what we need to do is take action and figure out why it's there to begin with. And what can we do to resolve it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's completely contrary to what I used to think was, I've been abused. I've been through all this pain, all these terrible things. You want me to make it worse by feeling more pain? I
Right.
couldn't compute it in my brain for the longest time. It just didn't make sense to me. And I think
Yeah.
that's the case for a lot of people. Like they don't understand. In order to get out of pain, you have to increase pain for a while. It's just the way it is. Like
It's
if you want to
temporary.
get better.
Yeah. And I see people, like I see videos and people commenting on it about, I don't know, EMDR is something I've done.
Mhm.
And I've seen I've seen videos about it and some people commenting on it that they tried it, but they didn't like it because they felt worse. So
Mhm.
why would they want to do that? Or they don't go to therapy because it just makes them feel worse.
Yeah.
Um,
I hear that a lot too.
but
Yeah.
the thing is you're going to feel worse for a period of time. Like Rochelle was saying, it's going to feel bad, maybe even worse for a short period of time. And then you're going to feel better and you'll never experience that particular pain again. It has to
Right.
be resolved.
Yeah.
Or else it just sticks around and causes problems. It causes
Yeah.
relationship problems, being mature, like adult problems. It causes financial problems, poor decision making, drug use, alcohol use, overeating.
Yeah.
I don't know if marijuana is in the drug use, but marijuana use, I think, is a lot of people are trying to deal with their pain.
Another way to numb out for sure. Yeah.
But I think it's courageous to see the pain and say, okay, I'm going to let myself feel it and I'm going to let it pass through me. And then I'm going to move on from why I felt that pain to begin with. We're talking about emotional pain, not physical pain is different in this way. But, like Evelyn was saying, you ask God to let you feel your feelings or to help you feel your feelings. And now it's there, it's present. And you have to face it with bravery and courage, right?
Yeah.
And you have to let it manifest fully in your life so that you can move on from it.
Yeah. That's the only way.
It's the only way to live free.
Because otherwise it just festers and makes things worse, like you said, stuff.
Yeah. Again, I'm not a person with chronic pain like some people are who have injuries or illnesses or diseases or whatever that cause them chronic pain, but I imagine it's fairly similar to the emotional pain that I feel. If those people could resolve it, they would find a way and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With and be able to live their life.
Yeah.
So I encourage anybody listening to this, if you have trauma, if you have a past history of abuse, neglect, any of those things, and you have felt a lot of pain in your life and your life has not gone the way you expected it to, and you feel stuck and depressed and anxious, and you're using drugs or alcohol or food or any other things to escape from the pain, I encourage you. I think all of us encourage you.
Yes,
to
definitely. Absolutely.
talk to a therapist
Mm-hmm.
and start working on letting the pain out. You don't have to let everything out all at once.
Right.
Do it in increments. You do a little bit at a time. Deal with things as they come, but start doing it. Start working on it. Let it manifest. Let it pass through you.
Yeah.
It will not destroy you.
No.
Yeah.
I've done this for 35 years and I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's worth it.
Definitely worth it.
Anything
totally
worth doing is usually difficult.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out what my life is and what it means, but
Mhm.
I feel like I'm living my life as best as I can right now. I'm doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running a dojo,
You're doing a
which
great job too.
which
Mhm.
in and of itself is like, it has its own kind of pain.
Yeah.
Not
All
necessarily
kinds of
bad.
pain. Training
Um,
trophies, even.
Helping my adult child to adult and go to college, and my husband supporting him in his work. He has a crazy, stressful job.
Yep, he does.
Taking care of my family, maintaining a decent relationship with Evelyn and Rochelle, and um, going to church and doing church stuff. And like, I feel like there's a lot of good happening for me right now. And I don't know that I could be doing as much as I am if I hadn't done all the work I've already done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that if you keep going, and I'm speaking from experience here too, at first it just feels like I just have to do whatever the next right thing is. And I think that's a good principle anyway, but I don't see progress. This is hard. I don't like it. It hurts, but I'm going to keep doing the right thing. And then something happens. A couple of times recently, I reacted to a situation differently than I had before. I felt the initial old way starting to come, but I was able to pivot. That hadn't happened before. And a couple more things, and to really to celebrate when you do have those moments. It's not all a slog. There is some bright spots in there. And when
Yeah.
you do have something good that happens, celebrate it. Tell somebody,
Yeah.
give yourself a little, give yourself some credit. And I'm speaking as somebody with chronic shame, toxic shame, to be able to go, there we were talking about fact and fiction. The fact is, when you get it right, that counts too.
Yeah.
The fact is, I did the right thing. The fact is, I was able to do something I couldn't do before because I've been working so hard at this. And so give yourself some credit and know that there will be times when you do make progress. It will get better.
Yeah, I think you've been very brave, Evelyn. I wanted to say out loud on the public that we were having a meeting on Saturday and we're discussing something that's under Evelyn's purview, and prior attempts to do this particular task have not been great for a variety of reasons. And Evelyn's been scared of taking control and being in charge and being a leader. But it came up again and we were talking about it. And I'm asking Evelyn for something that's under her leadership. And I could see initially that you were like, initially. But then something changed. And I think this is the first time I've ever seen this. Suddenly you just took control and you made a decision and you told me what to do, which is evidence of this change you're talking about because of all of the struggle we'd had before with that particular shame issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rochelle, I'm just, watching you step into dealing with really dealing with your pain and like allowing yourself to feel it and not just run away and hide.
Yeah.
Literally sometimes.
Yeah. Literally
Yeah.
sometimes. I will say, sorry, go ahead, Steph.
Well, I just wanted to say that I can see that, you allowing yourself to step into your pain and to feel it and to let it pass through you is resulting in you being more real, more open, and more present. So I'm proud of you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Me
I was going to
too.
say
Well
there is a certain amount of satisfaction in embracing your pain. If you're looking for something to really help you feel oddly better about it, there's a satisfaction in that idea that like I'm doing the thing. Like I'm not just sitting back and letting it happen to me. I'm actually taking control of the situation. And that satisfaction is what drives me, at least part of it, not everything. That's part of what drives me is the idea that, hey, I'm doing this. It's scary. It's hard. It hurts, but I'm doing it. I'm trying to do the thing. And I'm a little bit sad it took me this long to get here, but I'm glad I'm here now.
Yeah.
I know I'm just at the beginning of it, but I wouldn't change anything that's happened at this point either, because I think everything's been building towards this.
Yeah. And to let go of any idea of I'm too old or I'm too set in my ways. We're all in our I'm the oldest. Although Steph is the firstborn, technically, I'm the baby of my family, so forever young.
As the birth order, we have a very strange mix here.
I'm the oldest, but I'm the youngest.
I'm the youngest from the second oldest,
and I'm the
middle child.
I'm the middle child, but I behave like the oldest.
Yeah,
because I am the oldest in my family.
Totally forgot where I was going with that.
I'm actually a youngest and a second oldest at the same time, which is very strange for me.
It's so confusing. So I'm in my mid to late 50s.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I'm learning it now. And I heard it once said, and this can be a little depressing, but don't let it be. You'll never be as young as you are right now. So go ahead and start.
I'm about to turn 55 tomorrow.
Woo-hoo, double digits, double fives.
I said double digits. I think we've been there for a while.
Double fives. Well, I clarified, okay.
Stephanie's face. I
don't know how I feel about this.
I was there 2 years ago. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
We Gen Xers are defying aging anyways. Somehow.
Yeah, I know. People never think I'm the age that I say I am, which is 55.
Sure
but, I was born in 1970. Thank God I had a 0 at the end of my birth year so I could keep track of what year, because I can't do math.
That's so
I can
funny.
okay, yeah, 55. But most people don't think I'm 55 or
I
think I'm like 45.
Yeah. I think if we let our hair go completely gray and kind of walked hunched, we might look older.
Walk hunched
over.
So we have to start wearing polyester shirts and slacks too.
And those awful black shoes that our grandmothers wore.
Oh, I just pictured that.
Oh.
No, thank you.
I hated oh God, I hated those shoes so much. I was like, I don't want to get old and wear those shoes.
My great grandmother actually defied all of that. She had a sports car in her 60s and 70s, and my great grandmother. She was amazing. Of course, she was wearing pants when all the other ladies were wearing. All the other ladies were wearing dresses. She was like, I don't know. I like pants.
She's a rebel. Nice.
In the early 1900s.
A rebel with a cause.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, never too old.
All right. Well, wow. We went an hour and 13 minutes. We went a whole minute and
13 seconds.
Wow.
That was a long stinking
Are we time traveling? Are we in a sci-fi episode?
I don't know. Maybe.
Had a Back to the Future moment.
So, if you have trauma, I highly recommend watching K-pop Demon Hunter.
Go ahead, do it.
Great movie.
That's
it's a fun little animation.
assignment.
if you want hope to feel better, I recommend it.
Yep.
And you know, I feel I've seen it twice now, once with Evelyn, once with Rochelle. I have like several movies now that I feel like I kind of use to process, like Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I use that one when I'm feeling like I need to be brave, because it's really about finding courage. Hacksaw Ridge, it's about patience, determination, endurance, and also bravery, obviously. That's kind of a given with this particular character. He's just already brave.
Yeah.
But he has to endure through a terrible night by himself on a battlefield with dead bodies everywhere. And then K-pop Demon Hunters is about being true to yourself, not being ashamed of who you are. So I feel like, I have a few things stacked up that I can look to at times, remember what it felt like to watch it and think about it. And yeah. So K-pop Demon Hunters, people.
Do it.
We're endorsing the movie.
Do it. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. And we hope that you learned something about pain, that it's not so scary to you.
Yeah.
We hope that you can think about your future, trauma recovery, and like taking action, because that's what pain's supposed to do. Propel you to action. Take a hold of your future, take a hold of your pain, and start to work through it.
Yeah.
If you found any of this helpful, please share it.
Yes.
Yes.
We want to spread the word. There's so much good stuff out there. We want to be part of it.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm Stephanie Dunham.
I'm Evelyn Mason.
I'm Rochelle Knapp.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks so much for joining us as we discussed such an important topic. We hope you got some food for thought and encouragement to keep going and keep growing. See you later, Bear Club.